coming here into the semifinals in itself is such a massive victory. And they are starting their own esports federation in Saudi Arabia just this year. So it's a terrific start. I think they're on the right foot.
Yeah, it's a terrific start, but the story's not over yet, Clement. There's still a series to be played, a game to be played out in front of us here against Korea. And if you're going to try and get some experience on a stage like this, who else would you want it to be other than Korea, who's had a kingdom pretty much over League of Legends for the last few years? I feel like maybe that's starting to get a little bit shaken to the core nowadays, but that certainly had that legacy behind. Let's take a look at who they're going to be putting on their roster today. We'll be Keen in the top lane, Peanut in the jungle with Faker in the mid, Ruler and Core JJ down in the bottom lane.
And they've unleashed the Peanut. He is out for blood. The playstyle drastically changes when he is on the roster. He still holds the highest kills in a single game out of the entire tournament at 12 kills.
Yeah, you said it yourself, the DNA of the makeup and of the team changes. And I will say that, yes, it's a high-risk, high-reward type of player, so you can get very far ahead from what we've seen, or it can kind of backfire in your face. So there is an opening here to potentially take a game.
Yeah, it's going to come down to Adwa to see if he can actually contain Peanut and his aggression. The Trundle pick has really been the big thing that we've seen so far. Has a very good gauge of distances and has been able to fight his way 1v1 throughout most of the tournament.
Yeah, again, yesterday I was calling the bottom lane Core JJ and Ruler the unsung heroes because they were just in the right place at the right time doing everything that they needed to do. Wasn't necessarily flashy. I feel like actually when you look at the top side of the map, they were pulling off the flashy maneuvers, but the bottom lane has just probably been the straight up most consistent, most solid bottom lane of the tournament.
It's the rock solid base that Korea is standing on top of. These guys were the world's 2017 champion bot lane duo, and the way they played have remained remarkably similar. They are about the tower pushing, they are about the objectives. They will not contest unless they have score around you. They play relatively safe, but when they do get ahead, they will rotate across the entire map and take everything.
They will. It's really about those structures, about those objectives. Seen a lot of Ashe, a lot of Tam Kench come out of that duo. And of course, mid lane, you already heard the crowd get behind him. It's
a Faker fan. That's the most beautiful Faker fan we have in the stadium today.
It's the Faker fam right there.
Oh, it's the Faker fam? I'm sorry, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Faker right there in the mid lane. I mean, I feel like Faker just playing with so much confidence over this tournament. It's the fact that he has this infrastructure around him. He looks like an entirely different player from what we were seeing out of the domestic region. Yeah, and
it's really surprising. It's been a bit of a downward split for Faker so far. They're not in the playoffs, and actually a lot of time Faker has been coming off of the bench. He still holds the title as the best and most well-known esports player in League of Legends.
Yeah, 100%. You've got to have those ups and you've got to have those downs as well. But alongside him, Peanut, Score behind him on the bench as well. I mean, it's just changed how he's been able to play in the mid lane. If he wants to push forwards, he's got someone to hold his grape juice. You know what I mean? Like, he holds out normally and it just falls on the floor. And then what are you going to do? Absolutely nothing. But when you have a jungler there to support him, that's when we see magic happen.
Yeah, Peanut and Faker have played together in the 2017 split. And unfortunately, things did fall apart. They didn't work that well together. This tournament, that has not been the case. The big carry for Korea we're seeing on our screen right now has been key. Holding up the tradition of Korean top laners. They are exported across the world.
Yes, they are. They're a fine commodity.
Because they're
Clement,
the best.
You know me and I know you. We're about those top laners, and seeing just a mechanically strong top laner in lane, knowing exactly what to do when you get to the mid game as well, just makes me smile.
Yeah, the thing about Keen is that he is willing to take a step backwards and not really contest things without his jump.
Yeah, Keen has shown a lot of different things this tournament, though. Not only has he managed to show the fact that he is an exceptionally strong player in the solo lane, but also he'll be a damage sponge when you need him to as well. He'll go on a pick that is difficult to go for. Looking at the opposite side, though, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Wikichi in the top lane, Ajwad in the jungle, Thea in the mid lane, with Mimic and Xiao down in the bottom lane.
And this is the team that we say that likes skirmishing a lot. They are a bit early game focused. They can take it to you, and if you let your guard slip down, they can catch you in a team fight. They're very coordinated, which for me was incredibly surprising compared to some of the other teams in the tournament.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, coming out of the qualifiers, I mean, it was definitely a scramble. You know, we saw those qualifiers, it was an absolute ruckus. But then I think that the shining light was definitely when we saw this team come out of it, and then they looked even cleaner coming out into the main stage event, which for me was shocking. I mean, typically you do not see an identity change from teams moving from like a couple of weeks or even a couple of months, but this is a team that's been thrown together and looked incredibly strong.
Definitely, for sure. And we are going to start with their bot lane. Mishal here playing the Tahm Kench and the Alistar. They are a more protective situation in terms of the bot lane. I feel like they're more top side focused. Their solo laners are the big carries, but they are here to play a bit safer, and really they do kind of mimic, if you will, the Korean play style of trying to go for the objectives in the bottom side of the map.
Now, well acquainted with these players, they of course play on Europe West, and I'm from Europe West. I saw them back in my day when I was over there just a couple of years ago. Of course, competing in the European Challenger Series, actually, including their coach behind them, Kondi-san. Fear, though, the guy that we're going to be looking at, I feel like this guy is really going to make magic happen for the team. He's going to come anywhere. It's going to be coming out of Fear.
I'm actually a little bit surprised about his champion pool. I don't really remember seeing the Nocturne, so
no,
I believe that's a typo. But the big champions for him,
Akali.
Yeah, definitely. Akali, Vladimir would be the big ones.
Yeah, Edward in the jungle though, with I feel like he's probably more the Nocturne player.
Yeah.
Maybe the mid lane stole it from him, but no, I'm pretty sure he's more the Nocturne player. The Gragas, of course, as well.
Definitely Ajwad, previously known as Climb Stairs in the qualifier, so
yes, indeed.
Just a little bit of a mix-up right there, my first day of casting, but he has changed his name, and now we're going to go to Wikichi, probably the most famous player on the roster, and it's all about those carries.
Yes, he is. Vladimir coming out of him along with the Gnar in the top lane. But if we're looking at two-prong assaults, it's also going to come out of the solo lanes. You're talking about the bottom lane, expecting them to play a little bit safer. But then if we're looking at the team as like an identity and as the core, I still feel like there is something else they could put out here. And when you look at Korea, typically the team with all the answers. You know, you look at Faker, he's usually got an answer to anything he can put out in the mid lane. So where else is it going to be?
Well, I feel like this matchup, it's really going to be decided and dictated about with how Korea wants to approach this matchup. Do they actually want to take a little bit of a gamble and play fast and perhaps a little bit loose with Saudi Arabia, or are they going to show the same face that they did against China and just go slow, steady with suffocation?
Well, given that it's Peanut, I would probably say that there's going to be something
I hope so.
to accelerate the game. Yeah, let's get into Champions League though. Korea going to be banning out that Ken right there, trying to defang the top laner from Saudi Arabia, banning away the Aatrox on red side, like to see it, and then LeBlanc going to be a lockdown there against Fear, taking away those assassins.
So I do think side selection heavily favors blue side in this tournament. On 8.15, you do have to take away the Aatrox and the Akali, so playing it really safe by Kongzi-san coming in from Saudi Arabia.
Makes sense. It's really just about what that final ban is going to be and whether they actually want to look towards maybe a Faker ban. Of course, from Faker, we've only really seen a whole lot of like Galio. We've seen some Yasuo come out of him as well, along with the standard meta picks, seen some Orianna as well in this tournament. So taking away, I think, just straight up Galio might be just a really nice tool to take away from Faker. But it's going to be the Ryze actually here.
Yeah, Ryze is, for me, it's more scary to face up against a Ryze because in the later portions of the game, it's really hard to deal with him 1v1, and that does open up the 1-3-1 strategy that we've seen from Korea so far. Now, the Olaf ban is pretty interesting for me because if you looked at this tournament, Peanut's most played would be the Trundle, and that's actually a straight-up counter into the Olaf. So what this signals to me is that Korea's very much afraid that Ajwad will somehow be able to consistently gank the lanes and create an upset through that way. So they're taking away one of the strongest ganking junglers, even though that they have the perfect counter jungle right in their hands.
Yeah, it's definitely interesting here, but of course giving Peanut a good matchup for himself definitely makes a whole lot of sense. Saudi Arabia looking for a first pick of the Varus there into the bottom lane. Again, massive priority on this patch. And actually just confirming the bottom lane straight up with the Alistar.
Yeah, the Alistar is a bit of the interesting one. Usually you do see the Tahm Kench being followed up high here, and it would also have been a takeaway coming from Korea's squad, because I feel like the way the 1-3-1 works for Korea is that they can use their globals at a drop of a hat. So they're very good at using the Tahm Kench, but this time around with the Xayah open, they could be going for the Xayah Rakan duo and even using their own skins.
Yeah, there's a good chance. Again, it's Rakan into Alistar right here, but he's also got the Lover's Fury straight up. So, yeah, you're absolutely right. Could just use the skins.
Yeah, that's a lot of sales cash.
Yeah, you're not wrong. Trundle, nice pickup here from Saudi Arabia. Also a takeaway from Peanut. We've seen a lot of Trundle coming out of Peanut this tournament.
So, you know, that's kind of the confusion I did get with the ban pick phases right here. I feel like Ajwad actually has the same evaluation as Peanut, so taking away the Olaf, giving over the Trundle, it's a pretty strong situation for Saudi Arabia to come into.
Yeah, like in the draft so far, Kindred banner into Peanut. Would be surprised if they just continue to hammer that champion pool there. Still yet to pick up their mid lane though. Zoe is going to be banned against Fear.
I really like what Korea's bans are. They're basically taking away high variance picks. So basically the Olaf can snowball incredibly hard, the LeBlanc can snowball incredibly hard. So they're just making sure that in the early game, whatever happens, there's not going to be a blowout, an unexpected victory coming out from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, which is interesting, right? Because coming into this matchup with Peanut, you know, if you're trying to reduce factors, you probably just draft score as well. And it's like, all right, let's play the cleanest game of League of Legends we've ever seen.
You know what's going to happen?
What?
They're going to make Peanut play Sejuani.
Oh, maybe it's
that's
attacking the jungle.
Happen.
We'll see. I mean, it's also facing down into the Trundle. I feel like the only pick, if you're looking for a tank jungler, would probably be Sejuani, but let's see what else it could be. I mean, while this is open instead of carry jungle, well, you know, that exists. I'm going to have Talia coming in here.
All right, so Talia's fairly interesting because she can be played as a flex pick. Peanut has a couple of games on that champion as well. Now we should be looking for the mid lane for Faker. This is going to have to be a blind pick, and so far in the tournament, we've seen Orianna be kind of his go-to if he's put in this situation.
I mean, it's just super safe, but that's not an Orianna.
Okay.
That is the opposite of an Orianna. That is a Jarvan being locked in here for Korea.
It should be a Jarvan jungle.
And then Talia mid lane.
Yeah. Oh!
Did he just lock that in? Straight up, zero fear. Fear will just pick up the Katarina. I mean, this is the pocket pick we were waiting to see.
And this is what we were talking about for so long. He is our only cat main in the tournament. It has been known on the EUS servers. If you check up his account, he has an amazingly high win rate on this champ.
If there is a time to do it, it would be literally right now. The Katarina pick coming forwards. I mean, we just need to see what he can do with the pick, to be honest. I mean, I assume he's going to be facing down into the Talia here, Clement.
It's actually a very good matchup into the Talia because the Talia cannot start out with the seismic shove. He has to save that for once the Death Lotus does start.
Yeah, there are definitely a lot of factors right here that could instantly interrupt the Katarina. I mean, almost everybody actually on this roster has some form of a CC that can disrupt the cat, but I don't know, I'm trying to think how it would work, honestly. There's a lot of initiate coming in from Saudi Arabia just in general, and a big tank front line, so if you can get that Death Lotus off, it could be lights out.
Yeah, so this is actually a planned move by Saudi Arabia. They do have a lot of execution ability, Piercing Arrow coming out from the Varus and the Beast from Cho'Gath. So if they can make the resets happen, they could instantly double the DPS coming out from Fury.
That's true, yeah, actually finalizing the kills on some of these targets, but I mean, just the fact they're on red side as well, waiting for that last pick. I mean, we said it before the game, there's a feeling that there's going to be something else.
Yeah.
You know, there's a single card left in the hand, and that was it.
And that's the trump card coming out from here right in game one. He has to take it to Faker, be fearless in his execution, and show him his best.
That's going to be a Jarvan actually mid lane, Clement. Yeah. So if my eyes do not deceive me, it will be Talia jungle. Jarvan mid lane coming out from Faker. When was the last time you casted a Jarvan mid lane into a Katarina?
So the last time is actually, I've never casted Jarvan into Katarina, but I have casted Poison Jarvan.
Okay.
It used to be a pick in the mid lane with a lot of armor penetration. You can't get those instant kills.
Well, let's get on to the rift. Our first semi-finals is going to be Korea taking on Saudi Arabia. First blood.
Oh, come on. That doesn't count. Just a bit of pocket change going over.
Exactly. Coming out from Core JJ right there. And yeah, pretty much just going to draw these lines in the sand right here, just in the river. After going to be sent back, and we're going to get a bit of early information here, Korea.
Are going to try to scout out where Saudi Arabia decides to start. And this could be a potential level 1. Of course, the Xayah Rakan lovers do incredibly powerful at level 1. And we do see the blue support item early as well.
Supporting their own skins, no less.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you at the end of the day? But, Core JJ, Michelle stepping up, looking for this pulverize. Wants it onto 2, but will still just find it onto support. Stepping up as the aftershock, but now under attack. Ignite goes down. The rest of the team needs to stand in front of this Alistar.
It's a very favorable trade for the Korean squad. They do get the flash from Michelle. And there really weren't enough crowd control to let Saudi Arabia go ahead with that trade. You could see that Varus and Trundle, there's no way they were actually going to follow up.
Push forward once again. Michelle still low, turned around, lands the pulverize. Just a nice bit of damage back on towards him there from Mimic, but still that bottom lane definitely gone over to the Korean squad.
Yeah, and they should continue this pressure. They do still have a summoner lead over the Saudi Arabian bot lane. They should be very careful about CoreJJ hitting level 2. That's when the big all-in is going to come up.
Yeah, probably to be expected on that one. And yeah, just looking at Peanut, I mean, he's going to be on this Talia, passing through the jungle. Didn't expect it to be the Talia in the jungle and the Jarvan in the mid, but here we are.
Oh, I understand what this comp is. This is the Samsung comp.
Oh.
They're using the world skins. This is actually just a sales pitch.
Wait, really?
Yeah,
no,
I'm not kidding.
It actually is, isn't it?
It is.
Faker being pushed back in the mid lane. Fear almost gets the kill. Oh, the wall! First blood goes to Fear.
And that's such a huge snowball champion. If he can continuously do that.
Man, I am so sad we didn't get to see the setup to that one because that was Fear straight up getting a solo kill on Faker.
Yeah, I think, you know, Korea's probably playing with their food a little bit. We understand that maybe this isn't the quote-unquote compositional idea. It's more of a sales pitch to remind everyone that they're still the world champions.
Well, it's not going to be a good sales pitch if they lose the game, Clement. Of anyone to give early kills to, it would not be Katarina. That would not be my bet.
It would
okay, we get to see the setup.
Wholly on ambition, but probably not Faker.
That's fair. It's a win-win situation. Takes a tower shot.
Yeah, he does get the EQ, but takes one tower shot. The electric coup goes down.
Wow, Fear actually just straight maximized the damage. Every single ability landed.
Yeah, I really like the last Q coming in from the Katarina. Goes over the wall, and follows Faker through the flash.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that he led with the Q right there, I mean, Cat is a very intensive champion nowadays, but starting with the Q, I mean, Faker just stayed in the trade too long because it was just the second charge of the Q coming up with the bouncing blade, so he could follow up with the kill.
Yeah, definitely, and you know, I have to be honest, Faker sometimes is known to be playing very disrespectfully. Like, he will push in and try to get a reaction out of you. He will take as much as possible, and if you don't react, if you don't push him back, then he will continue his play style and just continuously push you in. So after that first kill, however, I do expect Faker to probably play a little bit slower.
Yeah, you'd have to assume so, but again, Cat is a snowball champion, so I mean, he's just going to come back from base even stronger. Actually goes back to base, picks up the brown backs, and also has the longsword right there. He's straight just increasing damage. Still down in farm though, just because it is a Jarvan into a Cat matchup. But we'll see what else he can do in the mid lane. For now, the top lane is now under attack. Ajwad coming in. Nice hop coming through from the Gnar, and unfortunately still makes it over the trophy being thrown out there by the Trundle.
Yep, unfortunately the knockback not going in the right direction for Ajwad.
Yeah, bot lane trading off. Shao pushing forward. We'll get the stun off onto the support, but Zaya still putting down the hurt. Ignite comes down onto Mimic. Flashes away. Follow coming in, but Shao still in very deep. Root comes down. Last auto attack. Another one comes through. Gleaming Quill comes out from CoreJJ.
What a well-done trade right there. They did balance the focus coming out from Saudi Arabia very well. In fact, CoreJJ did take the majority of the damage there, and then Ruler was able to find his way back into the fight directly onto Mimic. So, unfortunate 2v2 situation.
And it's all just happening in the lanes here, Clement. Not even with the jungle ganks. Well, I just say that, and Peanut arrives to the mid lane, tries to dodge out of this one, flashes away, but it's followed through from Peanut. Another kill over to Korea.
Yeah, there's nothing really much that Fear could do right there. He was tagged by the EQ combo, and he did flash out of the Seismic Shove. But still, you know, Peanut with the red buff and with the flash himself is able to secure the kill.
Yeah, gaining access now into the enemy jungle, now looking to the top lane. We can see the wave is about to crash on Cannon Wave as well. Keen close to Mega Gnar.
And Ajwad has been spotted out at his own Raptors. There will be no help for this gank.
No, there will not, but instant flash away, gets out of the Gnar ultimate, and Korea saved. Nope, not today. I mean, we're good.
Well played by Wikichi. Uses all of his abilities when he absolutely needs them, and does avoid the continuous snowball for the top lane. If you look at the CS, however, it is a worrying trend. Usually the Cho'Gath in the early game should be able to stay quite close in the CS.
Yeah, I feel like that's a story across the board, though, in every single position outside of support, to be honest, at this point in time, Clement. Every lane is ahead just in terms of the lane phase itself, but in terms of the plays, Saudi Arabia are able to keep up. That being said, Cataclysm comes down onto Fear, pops Death Loads, is instantly interrupted. Ready with that one as soon as it happened. Shut down again into the mid lane.
Yeah, Korea's bot lane was a little bit overextended, but they definitely saw the play coming out from Fear. In fact, they become the, they transfer from the hunted to becoming the hunters. This wrap around and fairly easy kill.
Somehow, top lane pretty low just from harassment coming in from the Nard. Doesn't have his ultimate, will be able to follow through with the rock coming through, and many more pebbles after that coming out of Talia. Another kill. Goes over to the Korean side, this time in the top lane.
And that Talia is growing big really fast. The Sword Boot's already done. This is not a traditional build. She wants that extra movement speed and to snowball even harder. I think Peanut's probably going to try and break his own record.
See if he can do it. For now, though, mid lane Faker just straight goes for the Hex Drink. He's like, all right, I understand that I died 1 versus 1. Let me just go for the relatively safe option. I won't feed anymore, and we'll stop Fear from snowballing out of control. And as long as you can just limit those factors, because you know you're talking this in Champion Select, now it's like that's actually super true. To try and take away all the things that could potentially blow up the game, there is only one thing in this game that is the miscellaneous factor. That is the mid lane Katarina. In the bottom lane, throws out the Feather Storm, and he's dead before it even lands. Michelle without a marksman.
Xayah, the majority of her damage is actually on the Blade Caller. Didn't even need to use that to get the kill.
Here comes Talia as well to seal the deal in that 1 versus 1. There was actually potential. Actually, Fear could have picked up that 1v1 kill once again, but again, Talia, level 6, will be able to get into the area very quickly.
Yep, and there's a too little support coming in from the jungle for Fear to really snowball. He did get the early kill, but I don't think Jungle really has the crowd control.
Well, he supports himself by getting kills. Faker turns around, lands
back.
a knock-up, goes right back towards him into the middle lane, and the rest of the team is here to clean up the kill. Battle dance, knocked up, knocked down. He's taken out.
And what a beautiful tempo play. He even gets himself into a good recall spot.
Oh, solo kill, obliteration in the top lane.
Yeah, I feel really bad for Wikichi. I mean, he just got camped by Peanut 3 times in a row, and that was kind of the inevitable result of that, dropping a lot of CS. You can see Keen in the top lane, close to doubling the CS score of the Cho'Gath already.
Yeah, it was unfortunate because one item Power Spike went for the Wit's End as well to bypass a lot of the armor that Wikichi had been itemizing early, and it was just, I mean, that's what's going to happen on that one item Power Spike without help from the jungler after falling in the mid lane. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, that's a nice chain of corruption there, landing on CoreJJ. Tries to get away, but luckily his level was there to jump back towards and actually doing a lot of damage, force out the unbreakable will there from Shao.
And there's no way that Saudi Arabia can actually lane after that. We are going to have to check into their laning position if it's pushing in. This could be a extended freeze if Korea wants to play it that way, but lucky enough for them, the wave will be pushing out.
Looking for a 4-man collapse here. I mean, I would say 3.2, because Alistar was about an ultimate and about 10% HP. They're going to say no to this one. CoreJJ just waiting in the brush, has this one actually pre-pink warded. Or I guess control warded, that's what the kids are calling it nowadays.
That's actually very well timed from the Korean bot lane. They didn't fall for the 4v2 bait, and once Fear left the lane.
Well, Ruler actually just pushing through the tower right now. He smells the blood in the water. Michelle goes into the perfect time, but now his AD carry under attack. Mimic turns around with massive Feather Storm coming through. Rips through both of them. Double kill coming through to Korea.
And that's just a straight 2v2 victory right there. No other help needed for Korea's bot lane to basically penetrate this lane. And that's such a dangerous thing because you're now going to have CoreJJ roaming around the map.
Yeah, moving through the tower.
One last
hit.
hit.
The ultimate. He's not even bleeding out from this one.
Can he get the Q?
Jumps over the wall, and he's been completely bamboozled. Ruler there. Now he's chasing down Fear into his own jungle, the wrong part of town. Doesn't seem like anyone is there to collect, though. Faker moving in from the mid lane. It's battle against time now.
Faker could find him with the E. He's going to try
Where's
to get the interrupt.
Where's he going to choose? He thinks he's recalling behind her. He just sees a recall.
Oh,
in time. Last 0.1 seconds, and Fear goes back to base.
Good attempt. Good attempt.
Meanwhile, Peanut doing the right thing, being a good jungler, taking up the Rip Herald.
All right, I think Fear is pretty happy with this game.
Yeah, I mean, like, he's gotten all the highlight. Like, if you're creating a highlight reel out of this game, it's going to be 90% Fear.
Definitely a Soaz escape right there. Solo kill onto Faker.
The solo kill, yeah. I feel like that's just an accolade you need to put on your your CV at this point,
you're
right?
not a
like,
real
you're not a real
mid
mid lane until you get the solo kill on Faker.
Like every mid laner worth their salt has probably gotten a solo kill on Faker.
That's true.
Maple.
Yeah. Sheer. Oh, mid lane. Faker's not very happy about that. going to bring a friend along. I mean, that's technically cheating. You're also going for the 2 versus 1. I want to see Faker find the 1 versus 1 kill. Meanwhile, on the top side, Keen getting chased down. Nice dodge onto the cube, but it's going to have another one coming very shortly. And it's just a sad life for this old Cho'Gath. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, 3-man collapse coming forwards. Adwad under attack. Massive blade caller coming through from Ruler. That's going to be a kill. Mimic now getting chased back to the tower. Once again, another knockup, another kill. Double. And it's going to be a triple over to Korea.
Ooh, and 4 kills happening over to Korea all across the map at the same time. That was a straight-up 3v3 in the bot side as well. And you can see Faker completely unattended here is able to take down 2 towers during that rotation.
Yeah, he's also got a Secretary Shelly here for another charge.
Well, unfortunately, it does seem like we're going to have to go into the countdown timer because the fastest game we've had so far has been 16 minutes and 30 seconds. Korea, you know, they could challenge that record set by Chinese Taipei.
Potentially, but Shelly's going to be a big part of that. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane, looking for this 1 versus 1. Ruler at range, though, pops the Death Lotus. Feeling whether he can actually go for this one or not. Ruler still drops him. Has the help out from the support there. Michelle finds the knockup. Dodge on Faker's Dragon Strike. In comes Keen, looking for that ultimate. Faker still managed to find a bleed-out kill, though, onto Michelle. And in from the top lane, Cho'Gath just came back from the fountain. He's already dead. Mimic getting chased back. Massive flick coming through. Finds 3 more kills. 20-1.
Make it stop. Make it stop.
Already dead. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, it's going to be yet another tower as they push this one in.
Yeah, incredibly fast game pace coming out from Korea. I really like the builds that they put into place. They went for the full damage items, basically. You can see the Sword Boots picked up by Peanut first, and in the top lane, the Wits and 2 just to chase people down. So Korea knows how far ahead they are, and they're willing to play a bit riskier with their builds just to finish the game faster.
I mean, that's an 8-0-2 to Leah, Clement. Ooh. That guy is legendary at 14 minutes. He is the most fed person on the team, but even Ruler, not too far behind him, already has completed... well, the name escapes me.
Ruler has the completed
Storm Razor. There you go. I want to say Blood Razor, and I'm like, that's not the item. Razor was right. But Faker moving towards the top lane now.
The story of the game so far has basically been that Fear was able to hold his own in the mid lane a little bit, but the rest of the lanes really fell down to the jungle pressure.
Yep, Flag Dragon, Wiki Chi, what can he do in this situation? Not a whole lot, being chased out by the Gnar. Faker wants blood, and he will get it. Another kill over to Faker.
There is no vision control in Saudi Arabia's own jungle. They have snuck a couple of wards around the Baron Pit, but it's going to be a question if they can even see Baron spawn this game.
I will say that Faker does need to catch up right now. If you were to give everyone the feeder reward on... it would be Faker with 100% of the team's deaths.
Oh,
get out of here. Get into my base, but he's going to hop on through regardless. Michelle maybe cut off from the rest of the team right now. And Faker, he's in real deep. He actually opted in to go into the enemy base. Still dropping the Alistair. Meanwhile, Fear dipping and diving through the jungle. Nice dodge on that one, but you can't dodge an auto attack or a rock apparently from Peanut to the back of the head. Right now in the base, another blade caller is massive coming in from Ruler. Double kill. That's a straight up ace coming in from Korea.
Perfect 5-0 ace by that as well, and they are going to be looking to close the game in record time. We just said 16:30 is what they're chasing after, but they do decide to back off.
That's not what they're hunted for, apparently. I mean, respawns are coming up, but they definitely could have ended it right there, right then.
And I just want to tell everyone, if you want to support this this Korean squad, this specific Korean squad with these players, you should go out and buy these skins.
Fantastic. Well, we get to see that fight once again, and fantastic today war coming through, but it starts off with what looked like a great headbutt coming in from Michelle.
Yeah, he actually did stop the Gnar midway through the jump, and it looked good, but the Korean players were just able to collapse so incredibly fast, and look how many tower shots Faker actually tanks throughout the entire fight. I counted 3 just going in, but they're so far ahead that they're able to clean it up without much resistance.
Yeah, I mean, shout-outs to Ruler for actually following Faker in the deep end. I mean, that was probably as deep as you could get if you weren't diving double Nexus turrets or even the Panzer laser. So, well played to the dynamic duo.
All right, here's the real question. Can Saudi Arabia find that second kill? Can they take all the blame off of Faker's shoulders?
That's true, but it's all double down on the blame, right?
That could also be the case. Faker is split pushing him by himself.
He is by himself, yeah. So if there's any... In fact, he's taken the service to them. So I'm not sure if it's on a silver platter or not. Because the platter is fighting back. Fear very low, and Mimic, I think he existed at one point, but he's dead now. Double knock-up, double down. 4 kills over to Korea, and they're looking for a clean win right here. Well, mostly clean. And Fear on the pad, what can he do? 1 versus 5 on this Katarina. Unfarmed, underfed. He's just being chased back onto the Fountain Laser. He's locked down. The team's onto the Nexus. They just want the win right here. Korea are going to take game 1 in its best of 3 in the semifinals.
And what a dominating game that was. Korea did give Saudi Arabia a chance. They probably didn't pick the most cohesive composition, I should say, but they did go for a exhibition match of the Samsung Galaxy
It was a
World Champion
coordinated,
skins.
yeah, exactly. It was a coordinated roster for certain. I mean, how do you reckon that one went in Champions? That the coach was like, all right, so this is how we're going to do it, so we can optimize the most likely picks that someone can pick away from this to get the entire composition.
Oh, wow. That's
Right?
actually a really
Because
smart way of
what
looking at
happens
it.
if your opponent realizes what you're doing and then takes away one of the picks? You're screwed.
Oh. I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
So we should actually
Go back
through
and look at the
bans
graph
again.
order.
Like,
Yeah.
It's actually very difficult to coordinate that.
That's very true, but Saudi Arabia, as we said, feel like they won the award for the montage reel. And specifically, I'm talking about Fear. Because what did he get? Like, if you're looking at the CV for bin laners, he got the solo kill on Faker. He got the SOAS teleport out. He got 100% of the kills on Korea in that game.
Yeah, you did.
That's true.
That's definitely true. So
Yeah.
Fear standing up.
100% kill participation.
for Saudi Arabia.
Yeah. And made Faker a feeder. I mean, that's pretty much what you can, you know.
I'm trying to think about something to talk about the game, but I feel like
It wasn't a lot of game, Clement.
Yeah, that's also true.
Yeah, what are the goals here for... Because, again, we're talking about curveballs coming out from the Saudi Arabian squad. I feel like just throw more, you know what I mean? Like, force Korea to juggle.
They should use the Fnatic Season 1 World Champion skins.
And actually just go for or pick a theme comp, yeah.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that would take away the Jarvan from Korea as well.
That's true, there is overlap. There's actually a pretty significant amount of overlap in some of the world skins.
I
Turns
just
out
want to
meta
see
champions
them
should stay the same.
build some other crowd control on their jungler and just try to at least influence Fear's lane, because this is what the Saudi Arabian squad is known for, is basically snowballing their mid lane. It's a little bit difficult to do with Trundle.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I liked it as a takeaway from Peanut, though. I guess if they were choosing to go for this composition, it was never going to be Trundle in the first place. So it was, never a takeaway. That's the top tier mind game coming out from them. But no, I agree. I would like to actually see more front loading. It's like, if you could just have a run at you composition, or even just like a guided missile composition to try and help out the snowball in the mid lane, because we know it's going to be something like a Katarina, we know it's going to be something like an Akali, an assassin, and if you front load, then it just makes the assassin's job easier. But then you're also giving up laning phase, and I feel like a lot of this was a collapse in the laning phase itself.
Yeah, it definitely was. And you can see here, Core JJ probably, Ruler probably did more damage than the entire Saudi Arabian team combined.
We'd have to crunch the numbers on that one. I think Fear would be the only one to upset that ratio.
Yeah, it was a very one-sided affair coming out, a dominating performance. They took the laning phase incredibly well. Faker did give up first blood, but it didn't matter because the synergy between Peanut and Faker was absolutely beautiful to behold.
Yeah, he's got a partner in crime, and that's what Faker's been loving about this tournament. But yeah, at the same time, I feel like we shouldn't go back to standard now for Saudi Arabia. I think with 1 foot is in the cheese water.
Yes.
Put both feet in. Go all the way.
All right. So what good cheese composition would do against Korea?
Well,
I mean, Korea's probably going to go for another skin
I'm just
comp.
telling you this, Clement. I mean, this squad plays on Europe West.
Yeah.
Well acquainted with Europe West. Condi San, of course, being around the scene for many, many years. I remember when he was back on, Match Sports in 2014. I was there casting EU Challenger. So, from the depths of EU solo queue.
12-0 and 4. He's one
Avert
kill
your
away.
eyes, folks. If you're a Saudi Arabian fan, avert your eyes. But yeah, 12-0 4. That's ridiculous. And we had 17 minutes of game time.
Pretty much. Close to 18. And that's what you get with Peanut.
Yeah, we round up. Yeah, kill participation 53%.
That damage percent can't be correct.
18.2.
Oh, that was damage done for each gold you received.
Oh, right, yeah, damage
so I was
efficiency.
Like, wait a minute, damage here 82%. That's
That's insane. That's a world record right there.
Yeah.
Breako from the Guinness Book of World Records.
Korea has 4 world champion skins to go through, I believe. Yeah, so
we had best of 3, Clement.
Oh wow! I think they should go for an SKT skin next.
Well, we know. Well, I didn't notice. Did Faker actually pick up the skin then for Jarvan? Because this is the thing.
Yeah, he picked up the Jarvan skin. It
did.
was the entire
Wow.
set.
That's the only thing that he can actually. This is the only thing that overcomes his inner desires. Like, I will only use classic skins unless we're doing a theme comp.
Oh wow! Yeah,
that's true.
Faker's
I
actually
just
known
realized
for
that,
not picking skins.
Indeed, we are going to take a short break there while the team set up for game number 2. So stick with us. We'll be back after this.